and welcome. I am Shell, aka AKASH Love. And before I start today, I just wanted to say thank you. If you are a new subscriber to this channel, I've gained maybe 40 subscribers in the last few months, so thank you very much. I value your presence here and your attention and your time, and I really hope to bring you more and more videos to help uplift and inspire you to live your life freely in a really loving, open-hearted way, and to resolve anything that you need to resolve in order to do that. Any of your inner blocks, let's say. So that's my mission here on this channel. And I do that via these videos, podcast videos, and also I have some funny videos and I have some music videos. But the mission is always the same. It's opening up space. AKASH means space in Sanskrit, opening space for love. So today is another episode of the Youniverse podcast. The universe meaning the universe inside of you, the universe within you. And I wanted to speak today about the subject of neediness. So one of my friends recently said that I am needy, said that you're needy, I'm needy. And I agreed with him. I am needy, so I am a human being, and just by that fact, that makes me full of needs. I have so many needs, it's just off the show crazy. I need air, I need water, I need food, I need shelter, I need warmth, I need money. These are all my really basic needs. In this Maslow, there was a psychologist, I think in the early 21st century, Abraham Maslow, if I'm not wrong, who wrote about this concept called the pyramid of needs. So it's a kind of a hierarchical pyramid with the basic needs on the bottom of the pyramid. These being air, food, water, shelter, warmth. And as you go up the pyramid, the needs become a little bit more complex. And at the top of the pyramid is the need for self-actualization, self-realization, if you like. So bringing your inner gifts out into the world, sharing your inner gifts, and thanks to this sharing, feeling fulfilled or self-actualized as a person. So this is the top of our Maslow pyramid of needs. But the bottom of the pyramid is these really basic human needs. And when someone says that you're needy in a pejorative way, let's say, I guess usually they're sort of they're referring to you perhaps wanting their attention, you perhaps reaching out to connect, you perhaps sharing vulnerably what's going on for you. And although I can see that definitely if you overshare what is going on in your inner self, especially if it's if there's some turbulence in your inner universe, if there's some struggle and turbulence and stress and worry, doubt and fear, all these kinds of energies, if you have a lot of that going on and you share perhaps too much of that with someone, then that for them might seem overwhelming, and they therefore might step back from you because they are overwhelmed and they know that they can't solve any of those problems which aren't really problems. It's just inner states. And they know that they can't really do anything to perhaps calm all of this overwhelm. So that person might just kind of step back from you in that case. But what I wanted to speak to you today about is, what if we can reframe this idea of being needy into not a negative? So what if we can, instead of hiding our needs, what if we could be a lot more outward in reaching out to the appropriate people to get our needs met? What if that was a normalized thing? I think if we can all recognize that we are all totally needy of all of these things I mentioned, and particularly we're all completely needy of human love and connection and community, then we can use this knowledge that we're universally needy on all of these levels to destigmatize this idea of having needs. So what if we could just recognize, okay, what is my need today, or at the moment, what is my need for today or this week? Okay, I need some human connection. I need to reach out to someone. I need to see a friend. I need to connect with my community. Perhaps I need to be in a circle with other women or men. What are my needs? And then when we recognize what they are, then what if we can just reach out to the appropriate person and say, hey, I'd love to meet up with you. Hey, I'd love to connect. And what if we could even destigmatize the idea that being vulnerable with our emotions is not something that's going to drive someone away. So what if we could say, hey, I'm feeling a bit lonely. I've been feeling a bit lonely. I've been feeling a bit isolated. Can we meet up? What if that was okay to do and did not feel scary? Wouldn't that be a safer world to live in if we were all, I like this thing that Jamie Cato says, what if we are all walking permission slips for each other? What if we can give each other permission to vulnerably share our needs, our very, very normal and universal human needs. And based on this sharing, we are more likely to get our needs met. So what if we could do this? What would the world look like if it was completely normal to say, hey, I'm feeling lonely. I really need to see a friend. Are you available this week or today or tomorrow? What about, hey, I don't have much money. I really need another job or a new form of income. Can you help me? Is there any way that you could reach out to your network and share what I have to offer? What if you need community connection? What if you could reach out to someone in your community who organizes community events and say, hey, I really need to connect with community. When is your next community event? Because I really feel like I really need to be in community with people. I'm feeling a bit isolated. What else do we need? What about even just a hug? What if we could destigmatize asking a stranger for a hug? Like you see on the street sometimes these people that have these big placards on their front saying free hugs. What if we could even destigmatize that and just what if we could just reach out to someone and say, hey, I really need a hug. Can you give me a hug? Can I give you a hug? What if we could do that and get our need for human connection met with just anybody? It doesn't have to be anyone in particular. So that's just what I wanted to share with you today. What if we can reframe this idea of being needy into a positive? What if it could be universally accepted that we are all needy, and therefore what if we could let go of using that term as a negative or a pejorative term, because really it's only a negative term if we are pretending that we are not also needy. So if we're saying, hey, to someone, hey, you're needy, it's only going to be a criticism or a put down of that other person. If we are pretending that we're not equally needy, if we don't have all the exact same needs as that other person. So what if we could just completely turn around that term and see it as a positive term, and see it as a positive thing if people are able to actually reach out to other people and share their vulnerable, open self, share their needs and ask for those needs to be met. What if we could do that? So I also just wanted to look at this subject of neediness, vulnerability, asking for our needs to be met by others. And there are so many needs that we have that just cannot be met by ourselves, especially all the needs for emotional connection, love, and community with others. These needs cannot be met by ourselves. They need to be met by others. So I think a good way of looking at these, this idea of neediness is to use the masculine and feminine archetypes. So let's say we have masculine, let's say masculine at this end, my right hand, feminine at this end. And so the extreme of the masculine archetype is this energy of being self-contained, of organizing everything for themselves, of being in control, of being on top of things, of being purposeful, of being moving forward, of being goal-orientated, and of being just in control. Let's say this is the masculine yang archetype. The extreme end of the masculine is the warrior. Everything, I've got this, everything's under control. And of course the toxic kind of side of that extreme masculinity is the social conditioning from society that tells men particularly that it is a sign of weakness to show their vulnerability, to show their emotional needs, to reveal themselves in that way, to show that they cannot actually, they're not Superman, they can't meet all their needs. They do get lonely, they do get sad, they do get depressed, they do get anxious, just the same as women. So that's the toxic side of this, of society's conditioning around ultra masculinity. So the other end of the spectrum, we have the feminine, the yin energy. And so the extreme feminine is a space of being, a space of receptivity, a space of openness. It could be seen as a space of passivity, but it's a space of, and I guess the toxic feminine, the toxic yin, is a boundaryless space where perhaps that person, and I'm not talking about necessarily men or women here, because we both have both of these energies within ourselves. It's just we need to balance them, but both men and women have these yang and yin energies. So the extreme, the toxic feminine is passivity and expecting others to look after one's needs, one's basic needs, not perhaps managing your basic need for food, shelter, money, all these things, not being on top of that side of things. That's the extreme end of the spectrum in the yin side of things, the feminine side. So that is equally toxic as the extreme masculine, the yang side, which is imagining that you are completely a self-contained unit and you don't need anybody else. You are completely on top of everything and you don't need to show your feelings. You don't need to ask for help. You can do it all yourself. So the extreme opposite of this is the feminine passive energy of expecting someone else or hoping that someone else will come and perhaps save you, help you with help you meet all of your basic needs. But the healthy feminine is open and able to express their feelings, knows that there is there's nothing wrong or negative about showing your feelings openly, about being emotionally vulnerable, knows that actually this is a healthy thing as opposed to the toxic, the very extreme end of the masculine spectrum. The healthy feminine expresses their emotions openly and is able to ask for their needs to be met. The toxic would be expecting perhaps other people to be meeting these needs without asking, without having enough yang energy to step out and ask for these needs to be met. So yin, feminine, open, receptive, allowing the energy of being rather than doing. Masculine is the energy of doing, is the energy of moving forward, is self-contained, is self-directed, purposeful, and finds it hard to admit that they have needs that need to be met by others in community. So the healthy person is in between these two extremes of extreme masculine yang energy and extreme feminine yin, is in between and is able to recognize, okay, I am the one who's in charge of my life and my destiny and my body as an adult. I have boundaries. I get to choose who comes near me, who doesn't. I am able to manage my finances, my work, my material life. But I also recognize that there are so many needs that I have, such as emotional needs, connection needs, community needs that need to be met by others. And in recognizing this, I am able to clearly and openly state my needs and ask others to meet them. So this is the healthy balance between the yin, the yang and the yin energy, the masculine and the feminine energy, is somebody who recognizes they are needy just as a human being. They're completely needy. They always will be. You always will be needy until the day that you die. You have needs. And in fact, as a baby and as an older person, you have a lot more needs than in the middle as a middle-aged or young person. In those ends of the life spectrum, the baby and the old person, it becomes really, really very obvious that we are completely needy. But in the middle of the life cycle, in adulthood, so from 20s to 60s, 70s, it's easier to sometimes take this position of the ultra yang masculine and pretend that we are not equally needy, because there's so many of our needs that we can manage on our own. So what would it look like to be in a position of healthy neediness? It's recognizing this, recognizing all of your needs, recognizing that you need help for them to be met, And it's being brave enough to ask for those needs to be met. And I think this is a real game changer in your life, because when you recognize that people are not mind readers, they don't know what's going on for you, and if you want to have healthy relationships and connections, and if you want to be a thriving person, you do actually need to communicate your needs. That is absolutely necessary, because if you don't, and you just expect people to second guess you, or just expect people to be there for you whether they know what's going on for you or not, you're going to probably find out that a lot of your needs remain unmet, and this will be frustrating, and this will cause you problems. So what if we could really destigmatize this idea of neediness, and what if we could be a walking permission slip for asking for our needs to be met? What if we could easily reach out to a stranger in the street and ask for a hug, and be okay if that hug is rejected, and ask someone else and someone else until we get a hug? What if we can be really clear with our friends and ask to meet when we need some support? What if we can ask for community connection when we need that? What if we could even create community connection when that is what is needed? And what if also we can clearly ask for help when we need something like money, when we need something like work, when we need something like help in whatever it is that we are studying or learning or doing? What if we could reach out to others also for those needs to be met? What if it was totally destigmatized to say, okay, I need money, I'm lacking money, I need help with money. Who can help me raise some money for my project or my cause? Or who can help me find a job? Who can help me connect with the right people that will help me to find a new job? So if you can imagine, if you have those skills of neediness, if you have ownership, if you take ownership of your neediness, then you're much more likely to actually get these needs met. You're much more likely to have those needs answered. I guess the last thing I want to say is, obviously, in terms of human connection, in terms of friendships and relationships, it's important to have good friends who are able to meet your needs, who are able to be there for you. So it's important that we are reaching out to people who are receptive to us and who are wanting to meet these needs with us, because they also have exactly the same needs and we are meeting their needs. So what is important is to be reaching out to the right people, to the people that want to meet your needs. You don't want to be reaching out to people who are emotionally unavailable or physically unavailable, who are just not really there for you, where you are doing all the reaching and they're not reaching back and connecting with you. So there's your hand coming out here, out asking, and there's no hand coming back to meet your need. So that obviously is a really frustrating and painful experience. So if that's you, I would just say, well, don't be dissuaded by this. Just recognize that that person is not able to meet those needs for you right now, or maybe ever. Maybe they were before, maybe they're not now, maybe they will be in the future, who knows? But right now, if you're reaching out to somebody who's not reaching back to meet you, then just stop doing that and find another person or some other people who do have the time, are emotionally available, and are wanting to meet you where you're at, are wanting to meet you in that place of friendship and community. So that is really important. It's really important to choose your friends and your relationships and your intimate partners wisely, because otherwise it's just frustrating. We really don't want to be reaching out and asking for our needs to be met from people who are not able to meet them. So if you're doing that, just take time to check in with yourself and take a look at the people in your life and revise and see who is able to share time with you, spend time with you, who is able to meet you where you're at, who is available, and if you can be available for them. So also in business, this is it's a similar situation, although the really interesting thing that happens in business is we are reaching out to help people and they are reaching back, but there's a monetary transaction that's going on. So it's exactly the same. We're helping them, they're receiving something from our help, if perhaps we're working for them or we're working with them. Each party is giving and receiving something. So if it's an employer, they are paying you money, you are working for them, they are paying you money. So they're getting your work, you're getting their money. The interesting thing is that money is such a clear symbol of, so it's a monetary, a numerical symbol of the value of your energy input into that work, so into that job or into that business. So if you feel that you're giving a lot more than you're receiving, so if you feel you're up here at a level of giving and the money that you're being paid is down here, then obviously that's not going to feel good for you either. So even though you're getting paid, you don't feel like you're getting enough. So this relationship, this business or job relationship is not quite meeting your needs. It's because you're putting up here and you're receiving down here. So you're needing to then have a conversation with the business owner, with your employer, and say, hey, I feel there's an imbalance here in what I'm giving and what I'm receiving. Can we see if I can either give less and receive the same, or give the same and you give me more money in return? So that's a really interesting thing about work and business situation. It's exactly the same, except there's money involved. So it's actually a really empowering way to look at balancing the energy of giving and receiving. It is a really empowering position to be in a job or a business, and to ask for a raise, to ask for your work to be more valued, to ask for more money, because that is opening up the possibility for this conversation with your employer, with the business that you work for. You're opening up a conversation about the needs that are being met, about you meeting the needs of that business, perhaps over and above what your original contract was. And your needs then are that you are wanting to be financially compensated for that energy input that you're putting in. So I hope this episode has been helpful for you. I hope that we can all be part of a society that destigmatizes neediness. What if we can all own our neediness and say, hello, my name is, like in the Alcohol Anonymous meetings, hello, my name is whatever, and I am needy. I have these needs. I need love. I need connection. I need friendship. I need community. I need air. I need food. I need water. I need shelter. I need warmth. I need money. I need work. What if we can destigmatize neediness so that it's much easier for us to ask for our needs to be met, and therefore have much more likelihood of those needs being met. What if we were able to ask, what if we were so free in asking for those needs to be met that we could even accept rejection if we are, reaching out for a hug, reaching out for friendship, reaching out to someone, we rejected, okay, that's no big deal, we move on to someone else. What if that was okay? How would your life change today if you could do that, if you could really freely state what your needs are and freely ask for them to be met? Maybe try today, just as a test, try reaching out to someone for connection, for a hug, for something else. Maybe asking if they have any work, if you're looking for work. Ask a random stranger if they can help you with work. You never know who it is that you're speaking to. They might just be a business owner. They might just be looking for someone just like you. You just never know. Give it a try, test it out, ask for what you need, and leave a comment below this video and let me know how it goes. I would love to hear from you. So thank you so much. Please like if you like this video, subscribe. I have a heart for my subscription so that you get all of the new videos that I post, so that you can come along on this journey with me of the universe, opening up space, more space for love in your inner universe, and thus uplifting, elevating, and completely energizing your life, let's say. Lots of love from me, sending out a lot of love and peace, and I will see you next time.